Energy FM.
You better cover your ears if you don't want to see 99.3 Energy.
You snickering, floppy-eared hound. When courage is needed, you're never around. Those medals you wear on your moth-eaten chest should be there for bungling at which you are best. So stop the pigeon, 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 stop the pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him. Stop that pigeon now! You, Zilly, stop sneaking. It's not worth a chance. For you'll be returned by the seat of your pants. And Clunk, you invent me a thingamabob that catches that pigeon or I lose my job. So, stop the pigeon, 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 stop the pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him. Stop that pigeon now!
And you're tuned to 3RG Radio here, 99.3 FM in Sunbury. And you're listening to Pigeon Radio. Pigeon Radio brought to you every week by the Melton Invitation Homing Club Incorporated. www.mihci.net.au. Good afternoon to Joe Angelino. Good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Good, my friend. How are you?
Good, thanks.
That's the
What's
way.
been happening?
What's been happening?
You were absent last week. Would you please explain to the listeners why you were absent?
Well, as you know, Ivan, I've got another hobby. I love my pig hunting. And farmer called us and said he had a lot of problems. Farmer Jim rang me. Said he had a big problem with the pigs out there. So a friend of mine and I went out there, Rowan, and what happened was it started raining and we got bogged in. Well, we were only supposed to go for 2-3 days and it ended up being a week. So, it was a good show last week. I'm spewing I missed it. So, anyway, what do you do? I'm here today. I hope everyone's listening and it's going to be a great show.
Now, I'm going to read something while you get the phone and put it in position because you forgot to do it. Naughty. So he hasn't been here for 1 week. He already forgets what to do. Anyway, here we go. This is Pigeon Racing Victoria Incorporated presents the All Federation Squeaker Sale. First time in the history of the sport. Youngsters bred for stock purposes by the very best flyers of each federation. That's VHA, WPF, VPU, GMPF, and there's several studs and interstate top flyers. My computer's shutting down. I don't know why it's doing that. Victorian flyers and several studs and interstate top flyers. Pigeon, it's on the 22nd of February 2015 at the VPU rooms. Viewing is from 10 a.m. A sale commences at 12 noon. And it's at the VPU, which we all know the address of the VPU rooms is 13 Domain Street in Hadfield. Pedigrees will be available at the sale. Pigeon Racing Victoria Incorporated is a publicity group dedicated to promoting the sport of pigeon racing. It has gone to great lengths to organise the historic sale. The very best flyers will be offering their bloodlines in order to help our sport grow, and in the process help flyers improve their stock lofts with current winning bloodlines. Don't miss this golden opportunity to access the top winning bloodlines from many of the biggest names in the sport. As well as this, you will be supporting the greatest cause of all, the promotion of our beloved sport. Do not miss this rare and great event. For inquiries, please contact this email address, Pigeon Racing Victoria, altogether, at gmail.com. So it's pigeonracingvictoria@gmail.com, or contact Taz on 0419 386861, or you can contact Eon on 0417 066260. Please visit our new website, www.pigeonracingvictoria.com.
Sounds like a good
Have
option there,
you got
mate.
the phone in position? Now, we went to the VPU rooms on Sunday, didn't we?
We did, my friend, we did.
Do you want to tell us a bit about our experience? Because you're the one that bought all the birds. I didn't buy any birds on Sunday.
There were some very good birds, good bunch of people there. There was Brett Kavanagh, Mark Kavanagh,
okay.
Pat Pace, Pauline Pace, a lot of good people there. The birds went at a good price, and I ended up
got a few cheap, didn't you?
I think I got about 7 or so. I got the grizzles. I got My darling Carleen, a couple of grizzles. She loves her grizzles, as we know. So, it was really good, really good.
And I'm going to open the talkback line, so if someone wants to ring in, they can ring in on 97404910 while we're talking about this. So you got some good birds?
Well, I think so. They felt good, they look good, and let's hope one of them's the winning bird.
So how much can you win in this race?
I think it depends on how... Well, the sale, I think they got one more sale. The VRPU got one more sale.
Yeah.
And... then they'll see how much money they've got together, and they'll let us all know what the first prize will be. Could be anywhere up to 15, maybe even 20. Who knows? The more, the merrier. No, it'll be good to win. Whatever it is, it'll be good to win. Yeah. So you should have bought one, Ivan. You got to be in it.
Mate,
got to be in it to win it, my friend.
I was grounded on the weekend. I've spent too much money.
You have, mate.
I spent too much money at the WPF. They haven't got all my money.
Well.
So I was told, don't spend any more money, so I hadn't spent any more money.
Good on you. Oh, well, you are going to be spending more money on the concrete for your new stock loft.
Oh, yeah, that's on the weekend.
That's on the weekend, so that should be pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll come down and give you a hand.
Yep. Yeah. And our talkback number here is 97404910. That's 97404910. We also went and helped someone vaccinate their birds, didn't we?
Well, let's hope this caller calls in because, he can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. But it was a good thing, you know. He's never vaccinated before, so he needed a hand. So you said here on the air that we would go and vaccinate birds if someone needed a hand.
Well, anything, yeah. We said we'd help anybody and stuff. Like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We'd like to help people who are not sure about vaccinating, not sure about anything, actually, just to call in and we'll help them the best we can.
So, 97404910, what else has been happening? Give us a rundown on the WPF, Joe.
Well, with WPF, we had a squeaker sale on Friday. You were there, Ivan?
Yeah.
And there was this was to generate some money for transport.
Is that what it's
That's
for?
what it was for, yes. Just and we had a good turnout. We had a good number of birds there. Lovely squeakers. Ray Russell, our president, he was the auctioneer, done a great job.
Yeah, he did do a good job.
Did a good job.
You were mucking around with him a bit,
Of course, yeah. Bidding on a couple of birds.
And the dearest bird in the sale, we all know, was...
whose bird was it?
You know whose bird
it was. Montebello's pigeon, I think it was. Montebello.
Was it?
Yeah, there was a bird, Montebello's bird, about 250, I think it was.
Oh, was it that much?
It was, yeah. Yeah, somebody wanted
What's
it.
so special about that?
I think it was George Lupp and Rob Zaja were bidding on it, so they must have seen some potential in that bird, and they wanted it. But anyway, that was good. And Portelli's pigeon, one of his birds, went for a bit too, which was good. He had a couple of squeakers in there.
Yeah,
they weren't
No, there
cheap.
was some good birds there. I bought one bird, so I've been told to stop. So.
You've spent enough money, Ivan. Let me spend some.
What else is happening at the day? You had your meeting last night, so fill us in.
Well, last night we had our board meeting. It went really well. So a few things were brought up. Some good things.
Like what?
Just like
you gotta keep secrets.
Well, I can't say too much, but I mean, look, just with our with our transport, the truck. It's got the water drum there. We're going to try and make it like a bit more, what do you call it, to keep the water cool, So we're going to try and insulate it a little bit better and stuff like that. Just so when we're watering the birds, it's nice and cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if you've been to New South and all that. Yeah. When the birds are up that way, it's always hot up there,
Yeah.
So we want to...
So you want the water to be cooler?
Nice and cool, nice and cool.
That's good.
Yeah, like we've already come up with a system to have when the units are on the truck. This was brought up from Chris Casher from the Willie Newport Club. He come up with this great idea to put the drinkers on both sides. So when the units aren't butt up right together, there's always that probably 100 mil gap. Airflow, which is very important, as we all know.
Of course.
Oh, we've
got a call. All right. Well, you answer the phone, and I'll switch your mic off so no one can hear you. And you're listening to Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM, 3NRG. And it's brought to you each week at 4 p.m. here on a Tuesday, which is temporary time slot for now. We're going to try and get a Sunday if we can. And our website address is www.mihci.net.au. And we've got a caller. And, yes... We've got a caller online, and hello. No, you hung up on him.
Did I hang up on him?
Yeah, 97404910. Call us back. And instead of chatting with him on there, you chat with him on here. All right. Thank you, Joe.
Told him to hold on, but he must have hung up.
Yeah.
Becca, give us a call back on the station and we'll put you on air, buddy.
97404910. Here, we'll have a music break, and I've got something, I don't know if they'll like this, but anyway, if anyone's got requests, you can put them on Facebook, but here we go. Skyhooks with You Just Like Me Because I'm Good in Bed. You're listening to Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM, 3 Energy Radio.
He said this is the station you're looking for. 99.3 FM, Sunbury Radio.
So, stop the pigeon, 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 stop the pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him, stop that pigeon now!
And you're tuned here to Pigeon Radio on 3 Energy Radio, 99.3 FM. And you're tuned here to Pigeon Radio on 3 Energy Radio, 99.3 FM.
Great, mate.
That's the way, buddy.
Now, we come up and vaccinated your birds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to thank you enough.
Oh, that's all right,
Obviously,
mate.
I've
That's
never done
no
it
problem.
before.
But your loft and your birds are absolutely fantastic, mate.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very nice, mate.
A lot of work.
You've done a very good job on the loft and the birds. Yeah, you've done a very good job on the loft and the birds.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a lot of work. A lot of work to put in before work and after work.
Yeah.
Well worth it, mate. Good result. Good
So how did you get involved in pigeon racing? Because what did you do before you started getting interested in pigeon racing?
I had high flyers for about maybe a good 8 to 9 years.
And you had some very rare ones you were telling us, didn't you?
Yes, I had the Vienna high flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was just sort of a bit of a dying sport, and there was no sort of competition. There wasn't really much into it.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'll change breed of birds and give it a go.
So how did you find out about pigeon racing? How did you?
I wanted to join the club about 7 years ago, but because of work and that and everything I was doing, I really couldn't get into it. But I just got myself a job where it sort of allows me to spend more time at home.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you went and got some birds, did you? Or did you go and get birds from a stud, or what did you do?
I went to a few people's I went to a few houses with racing pigeons. Just observed things I liked and what I didn't like, and sort of just went around and found what I liked, like personal choice. Yeah. And I tried to buy sort of the whole lot of what they had. So
you wanted
more
like the whole
retirement
family sort of thing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like I got 2 different families, but of 2 different flies.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they click for you and they do well, mate.
I hope so.
Well, I handled all your youngsters, the ones we vaccinated. I seen your stock pigeons. The loft is amazing, right? I think you'll do very well, right?
I hope so.
Ivan and I predict good things for you
I
this year.
actually reckon you're going to do very well.
Right, so we're going to be watching you. So, yeah, I mean, we'll be putting results up on the Pigeon Fancies Australia side. Are you enjoying that side, are you?
Yes, I am.
Good stuff.
I am. Yeah.
Now, you didn't know much about the vaccination you were telling us, didn't you? And we were quite surprised when you told us where you got the information from.
Yeah, I got the information off the radio and the internet.
There you go.
Very good.
Like, yeah.
You were saying you were getting a bit frightened there when we were talking about it on the radio.
Yes, I was. It's a bit shaky because you don't want to spend all that time and effort into your birds and just for one little simple mistake, lose the whole lot and start again.
Well, I'm surprised, that because you obviously you never vaccinated the high flyers and you were very, very lucky there, I can tell you right now.
Yes, I've never vaccinated in my life. So it's the first time, and I'm going to continuously do it for the rest of my time with birds. So.
Very good.
Well, that's a good attitude because if you don't vaccinate, you're going to get it.
Well, that's it. You get bitten on the bum, you lose your birds, and you know what? It'll put you off pigeons, and we don't want you to get out of the sport. So you're doing the right thing, Becca.
Yeah, and not only that, like you guys actually walked me through it. You showed me the process. Like it's it's hard to sort of get your foot in that door. Like, you can buy it, but you can't get that walkthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you can't get, like, the information of how to do it. Well, you can on the internet. There's videos and that, but it's not the same as seeing it in live, is it?
No, like me, I would have just vaccinated every single bird that I had, not knowing not to vaccinate the breeders. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, that's the thing. If they're sitting on eggs and they've got youngsters, it's not advisable.
That's right, exactly.
To do it while they're doing that. But as soon as they finish, do it.
Yes.
So how do you think you went now? Do you know how to? You're quite confident in doing it now?
Now I'm very confident. I'm actually eager to do it in another 4 weeks.
Very good.
So I'll probably find myself a little assistant and take it from there.
Well, when we done your youngsters, and you had a go at half a dozen of them, you got it first pop. So, and like if you've got someone helping you, it's easy, very easy. Like I showed you how to do it on your own. It's a little bit harder, but I do it on my own sometimes, and when Carlene's not working, she helps me, which makes it very, very easy. So if you can get someone to help you, mate, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I think I'll go that way for the first couple of times.
I think so.
Yeah, just to build the confidence.
That's
great, man. It's good to see somebody new coming into the sport, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys spending your Sunday morning at my house.
Mate, the cakes were lovely. I had a few of your cakes, and they were good. They were very nice.
If we didn't have to go to that sale, there wouldn't be one cake left on that plate. I'm telling you now, Becca, there wouldn't have been one cake.
If you stayed another 5 minutes, I would have had a barbecue.
There you go.
Next time, when you're racing, we might come down and watch you.
Not a problem. You're welcome.
Nah, that'll be good. I hope you do well, mate. I hope you do really well, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
guys.
we'll be
Appreciate
watching you. Put it that way. Ivan and I will be watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
your
You
results and everything. No, that's good. So you've joined a club?
Well, I've joined the VRPU.
Yeah,
what club?
Union, yeah, which club?
I think it's the fourth now, Broadmeadows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still a novice, so I'm still new. Like, I'm just starting to learn the links.
Well, if you ever need anything, just give us a tingle, mate. We'll help you out.
And not only that, you've got some good members in that club, and actually in the VRPU, very good people, which will they're not shy to give you a hand. And let me give you a tip. Do not be shy to ask questions, mate. Even to this day now, I still ask questions. You know what I mean? So don't be shy to ask questions, because you're learning every day, as you know.
You are learning every day.
That's right, buddy.
Day.
That's the way.
Yeah. All right, Becca, good luck, mate, and we'll probably come around again and visit you, and you're welcome to come and visit us too.
Of course,
Not a
definitely.
problem. I appreciate
Definitely.
that. Thank
And Becca, this is not the only time you call in. We want you to call in more often.
Not a problem.
Okay, buddy?
Myself.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for your call.
Appreciate that.
See you later.
See you, buddy.
Cheers.
Yes, and that was Becca. Then we vaccinated his birds on the weekend, and very successful. See, he's very confident now. He was really sort of shaky about it when we arrived, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
So, yeah.
What a loft. Ivan,
Mate, you walk in there, right? I'll tell
Like
you.
a house.
Hang on a minute. You walk in there, right?
Oh, awesome.
On the left and right hand side, you've got a couch to sit on.
Oh,
Correct?
underneath the couch. What's under the couch?
Well,
Feed drums.
Feed drums.
How's that? That's beautiful.
Then you go up the stairs, and what has he got there? He's got a sink and cabinets.
Hang on. That on top, was that...
that was that marble stuff.
Don't tell me. That was marble. Jesus, that was so good. That was well done.
And you got a sink and all his medicines and everything in the cabinets underneath, and his cleaning stuff on the right-hand side, which I filmed.
Yep,
we put it on Facebook so people can see that.
It's on Pigeon Federation.
And then I went into his breeding sections, and they were immaculate.
Beautiful.
And I'm telling you now, he didn't clean it because we were coming. That's what he does every day.
That's what he does.
Same.
That's right, exactly.
So the birds looked incredible. He let them then out for a fly, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And away they went. Gone.
They ranging too.
They flew good.
Yeah, no, he's got a good setup. Very good. Good start for you, Becca. Excellent, excellent. Anyway, we're going to break for a song now. Got a bit of Elvis Presley here. And you like Elvis?
I love Elvis. He's good.
What do they
want? We do
want?
have a request.
What?
Somebody wants Pink. On
Pink
the next
what?
song.
Oh, Pink. Okay.
The song Pink. Yeah, or, you know,
the singer Pink.
That's it.
Well, here's a bit of Elvis. And you're listening to Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM 3 Energy Radio, brought to you by the Melton Invitation Homing Club Incorporated. Our website address is www.mihci.net.au. Stay tuned for our special guest.
You beauty.
Allowing you to relax on your holiday. Your pets will enjoy daily exercise in our spacious runs, or treat your pooch or kitty to Sam Penny's quality grooming and clipping. If you're in a rush, why not take advantage of our pick-up and drop-off service? For an inspection or inquiries, phone Bob or Glennis on 9307 1111 or visit us at 55 Coopers Road, Bulla. Because at Sam Penny Kennels and Cattery, we treat your pets like our own. Sam Penny Kennels and Cattery are proud to be sponsors of 3NRG.
Hello World, formerly Harvey World Travel, is Sunbury's most experienced travel agency, serving the people of Sunbury and the Macedon Ranges since 1995. They are also the only travel agency in Sunbury that is locally owned and operated. With Travelex booth in store, you can buy foreign currency and cash passport cards over the counter for your next overseas trip. Part of the largest travel franchise group in Australia, you'll find them in Sunbury Square Shopping Centre, right next to Best and Less. Hello World are proud sponsors of 99.3 3NRG.
If you love movies, 3NRG has two for the price of one. Hi, I'm Alan James.
And I'm Peter Krause.
We're both professional members of the Australian Film Critics Association. Tune into my show called Movie Tracks, Tuesdays at 6 to 8 p.m. I play film and TV soundtracks. I talk about why films are made, current releases and film and television programs from the past.
And tune in on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. to Movie Metropolis, where I interview lots of filmmakers in Australia and overseas, review all films on current release, TV and DVD programs, as well as reviews of film festivals.
So tune into Movie Tracks with Alan James, Tuesdays 6 to 8.
And Movie Metropolis with Peter Krause, Saturdays 2 to 4 p.m.
Tune out of your workplace and tune into 99.3 FM Sunbury Radio.
Pigeon, stop the 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 pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him, stop that pigeon now!
And you're tuned to Pigeon Radio here on 3Energy Radio 99.3 FM, brought to you by the Melton Invitation Homing Club Incorporated, and our website address is www.mihci.net.au. And I'd like to welcome to the program this afternoon special guest, and I think he flies with a VPU, and I think everyone really knows this guy. His name is Rod Simmons. Good afternoon, Rod. How are you, mate?
Hi, Ivan. Hi, Joe. G'day, Rod. How you going? Good. That's the way.
Now, Rod, before, because there's probably people that don't know you, so do you want to explain how you got into pigeon racing at the beginning?
Yeah, it goes back around 25 years ago. My oldest son was about 5, and we were at the time racing and driving paces. We were fairly full on with that. Okay. And he wanted a pigeon, and like most dads, you say, yeah, one day, son, one day.
Yeah, true.
And about 10 years old, he was one straight into the stables, and we reported, and one day came.
So you got pigeons, and then you started from there. Did you join the VPU at the beginning, or
at the time I joined the VPU, didn't race the first year. I just hung around and learnt the game a little bit, and then I moved out to VHA land. Okay. And then I raced there for a couple of years with the VHA, based in Whittlesea and in Diamond Creek. Then back to the Mill Park, where we've been racing ever since.
Oh, great. So, and then you sort of advanced in it, and how you been going in your results? What's your results been like?
Well, look, always race consistent. Didn't race every year due to work commitments. I'm in real estate, so that takes up a lot of time. And over the time, we've obviously got better and better. And in recent times, we set up the stud and their Whitted One products. And from that, we've been very successful so far.
So now you've got a stud. So you're importing pigeons yourself, are you? Or?
Yeah, we've imported over 50 pigeons so far.
And where are the main countries you're importing from?
I primarily bring it in from Belgium, Germany and Netherlands. Okay. Very few I bring from the UK. I'd rather go straight to the source than go further away. Not that I'm against the UK birds. No. It's just that I'd rather go close to the source.
You just like getting them from the man himself.
Direct. I prefer.
Yeah. So you've actually been to Belgium, haven't you?
I've travelled a lot around the world. I haven't. I've got a lot of friends over in the Netherlands. I've got a guy, Mark of Fleckenberg, races a lot of my birds. I've raced the bred out of them before they come over. He's been very successful with them. Actually, he got out of the sport a couple of years. He sold up, and when he acquired our birds, he had instant success. And recently, Pippa wrote him up as the greatest comeback in pigeon in Dutch history. So he does very well. We travelled India right through China. We spent a lot of time in China. My wife's Chinese. And it really is something that you learn a lot from going overseas.
Having a look. How do you compare pigeon racing here in Australia to pigeon racing in Europe? We won't touch China for a minute. We'll get to China. But, I mean, how do you compare Europe and Australia?
What I've seen is our systems and way we race, how we race yearlings right through, where they stop them around 350, 400 Ks, keep them for a 2-year-old. Their programming is a lot different. They'll have a young bird series. Their yearlings are our 2-year-olds, so they have yearlings and 2-year-olds and older race separate series. So they have a number of series, and different countries vary a little bit. And obviously they use a lot of motivation for their older birds.
So widowhood system and stuff like that.
Roundabout widowhood, all different systems they use, and they tend to get a lot more out of their older birds by using motivation.
Now, their membership is quite higher than ours, isn't it? Compared to us here.
Their numbers around a lot of Europe have dropped, but generally the birds sent away are kept very consistent, especially to your nationals and your feature races. So although there's been a drop in numbers over many years, there's still a lot of flies right through Europe, and numbers are growing. And then you've got countries like Romania and those which are growing. They're going for a real surge at the moment.
I'm from Croatia, and I've been looking at the situation over there, and they've got one loft races there and everything happening.
Those I have a bit of contact with different countries, and you find that a lot of them are moving forward. Then you've got of your eastern states, countries as well. So there is a lot of growth within the world. We've had a lot of interest generally. I think.
Do you think we can grow it like that here?
There is, what I see through Winners One products, people buying products off us, is that there's a lot of people coming back into it, which are away for the sport, maybe 25 years. They're established. They're heading towards retirement. They're coming back into the sport. I also see there's different nationalities have had interest, had birds overseas from Malaysia and different countries. They're entering this as well. So I think there's a lot of positiveness with pigeon racing in Australia. We're becoming more professional. Our birds, I believe, are becoming equal to the best in the world with the introduction of some top birds from private lofts and some of the studs. So I think that we can hold our own. It's just that often numbers make us don't look as successful in some of these one-loft races internationally. But I think our quality, we've gained a lot of knowledge through our feeding, our medicating, and our overall knowledge of racing. I think is gained a lot. A lot of the old theories of this way we've always done it, I think that's out the window with a lot of flies, especially successful flies.
Now, having a business as in a start and everything for pigeons, do you think that maybe it's a little bit expensive for a novice bloke to sort of get into, or do you think that a novice bloke can get into it at a sort of affordable rate?
Yes, they can. There's many avenues. You can go to different sales and buy pigeons, but I think really for a novice, I wouldn't suggest them go out and buy 20, 30 birds at $50 each from a sale. I think you're better to go slow, spend by quality, maybe breed around those for the first year, build your team up, and then before you race. Don't try to fill your loft up with rubbish.
Exactly.
And then I think with the top quality imports and top quality Australian birds have been here for a long time, established, you'll find the best their children and their grandchildren breed on. So you don't have to go out and spend big dollars if you're starting up. You can go second or third generation from the very best, and you'll have success. As you gain knowledge, as you improve, then go for the higher tier birds. Like we sell a lot through our stud, And a lot of our clients are the top flyers in Australia because they're looking for the best blood because they can't go any further. And it works out with the quality that we have that they can buy direct off us instead of going overseas and buying and spending all the money and the risk of bringing them in. So there is advantages. But I wouldn't suggest a new flyer to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
How would you suggest somebody that's never done it before that wants to get into it and like he's built his loft, right, and say he needs the birds now, he's got everything set up?
I would
how would you approach it?
First thing I would have done before you even started building your loft, get a mentor, sit down with a mentor, go through, help them out, clean the loft, learn the runs, around the ropes around a stable, around a loft, and then from that, you'll gain knowledge. Sit with him when he's racing, go to basking, then go out and buy 4 and make that your small race team. Don't race the season. Don't try to race them out because you won't if you're going to got 40, 50 pigeons. What I would then race first, dozen races, 10 races, 8 races, gain knowledge, then stop, keep your 20 birds, whatever you got left as 2-year-olds, and then build around them and breed off your very best.
Because it's not a point to have hundreds of pigeons, is it? Like in Europe, they usually... Well, the information I've had from people that have been on the program, they don't have very big teams, do
they? The big lofts, they do.
The big lofts do,
the big commercial
I'm talking about the average Joe Blow.
You'll find still they'll send their 70... Like, they're a bit different because they have... a lot of races, they have open limit, so they can send their 70, 80 birds in the short, and they'll have 80, 100k, 200k races, then they spread them out. There's nothing... unusual for them, to have 6, 7 straight
because
races.
Some people look at some flyers and they've got heaps of pigeons, and then they say, to compete with that bloke, I've got to have like 200 birds.
You don't have to. We keep around 140, 150 the race max, and from there, it's a quality you don't need them. If you start with 50 birds, you won't get through a season. So in Australia, you need more than that. But I wouldn't suggest to race the whole season when you're starting up. Get the feel, learn. It takes years to learn the ropes, so go out and learn. Start with smaller. Don't race the whole season. Keep them, because it needs a special way of training for the distance race. 4 races for different disciplines for the short, middle, and long. For the guys that are successful in the 500 and 600 mile races, they've got teams and families that they've had for a long time, and that's why they're successful. I would suggest to just go slow and make a learning curve.
Now, you've recently been to China, and it's exploded over there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you were just there before Christmas, wasn't
you? Yeah, I spent a month with my wife and son in China. Megan, my wife, raced here a couple of years ago and won a race, and she's done very well. So she's right into the pigeons, so it's great. When we do interviews and we write articles in China, she does all the interviewing, which is more of a natural probably than me. And you do see a great growth. It's hard to get exact amount of numbers because when you talk to the authorities over there, they can never tell exactly. But there's over 300,000 flyers, and that's racing pigeon flyers. That doesn't include the people who keep them just for a hobby. And you got your real wealthy guys at the massive lofts, which are 3 stories high. They're lofts that you never have seen anywhere. But you also get the small flyer with it raises out of his balcony.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I've seen some videos on YouTube with guys flying off their balcony. Which is interesting because a lot of people here with these new estates now, you're in real estate, say, you wouldn't be able to have pigeons in there. But if a Chinese person can race off a balcony on a high-rise, what's stopping anyone to race pigeons, really?
They can. Probably the real new developments, they might have some restrictions on these 30-storey new ones. But if in a lot of the areas you can, a lot of lofts are situated on the top of a building. I know one of our friends we haven't visited recently, but he runs a massive hotel in Nanning, and his top floor where him and his wife live, and on top of that's the lofts, and you're about 25 stories high, and you look over the city, and It's unusual. The birds they go out and they don't go up; they just go straight out. And it's a great sight, and you look over it. So there's a lot of off the ground, but you do.
It was banned in China for many years, wasn't it? Like the government didn't.
The racing side, there was restrictions at different times. So it's the only legal form of gambling in mainland China.
So they don't have course racing or anything like that?
No, not in mainland China. Macau and Hong Kong, they have racing. So that's the only legal form. So you got to look at... and they get mad gamblers. They will... They are. Like, I remember one of our trips over there, we were talking to one of our friends and he just picked up a million RMB on a bet, and in our terms about 200,000 Australian roughly, and he was so proud of what it was, what he won, and that's what they're like. But they do. The smaller guys don't bet that way; they can't afford it. But what you do, if they've got a smart pigeon, one of the more wealthy guys will ask permission to bet on their bird. And then, this is what I've seen happen. And if they say yes, they'll bet on it. And if it wins, they'll share the money on the gambling. And so there's ways that they can pick up too. There's also another thing in China. There's around 500 they call public lofts, which are like one loft races. Okay. And a lot of guys enter the one loft races.
So they breed the birds at their place and put them in?
Yeah, they call public loft, but they're like our normal one loft races, and you'll find that they're scattered right through China. The largest ones are worth about 4 million. They carry in total €4 million in total prize money. But the smaller ones are cheaper to enter, and they're not as prize money is not as high. But you find a lot of them enjoy the public lofts. So they'll breed. Depending on the area, they'll breed a number of birds for these public lofts. And they're all...
Now, most of the clubs and federations are set up like hotels, aren't they? Or like mini restaurants or something.
Some are. I know some of their lofts, like in Tianjin, some good friends of ours there, that you walk into the main foyer, it's like walking into a hotel entry. And that's 3 stories high, and they've got all their tea rooms and their offices all into one. So and you'll find that, but also you see a lot more. You'll see a loft, say 4 metres by 4 metres. That's where it includes their racers and their breeders, and they're on the 10th floor. You've got to walk upstairs all the way up there, and you think, how do they ever get these baskets, all their birds down at the time? They must be fit. And you see them, and they're just as proud. And we've filmed, those top of flyers, and they'll show them their champion. It got in the magazine, and you'll find that most of those will eventually sell that bird. They might sell for 20,000, 30,000.
Yeah, well, in recent times we've seen some probably record prices paid for pigeons in China.
Yeah,
Why is that?
Well, it's a stigma. It's the guys that pay the big money. They've got the money. The €320,000 was the highest in the public auction. I understand that there's been bigger sales privately.
Well, there was a Breeders' Plate I read about 2 weeks ago, and they paid $440,000 or something for his own bird.
Yeah, but the guy owns the largest pharmaceutical company in China. So he actually runs the Great Wall Race. We entered a couple of years ago, and really pleasant. But funny enough, he's that wealthy, but he mixes with everyone just as if he's a normal pigeon flyer. That's one thing with pigeon racing. It brings everyone down to a level. All the
Maybe
same.
we can learn something from that.
I think money in the sport does help, but it's well promoted. It's different. In Australia, we're not promoted. I think a lot of things are positive, like this radio station and different publications have been very positive and getting out to the public. But there, it's just everyone knows, pigeon racing. It's a very big sport.
Now, what about sort of marrying Australia and China, like to sort of cooperate together in pigeon racing? Is there any chance of that?
Combining them? We're just finalising the paperwork, but actually, Winners One and another stud good friend of ours, we're planning to send 30 birds each to China to be raced next year. This year. So that's sort of opened doors, hopefully, that we get birds racing over there. And I think with the window of opportunity in China for Australian birds to enter the one-off races, which, again, we're just finalising paperwork for it, and hopefully it's this year. If not, it'll be definitely next year, to race Aussie birds on the China world stage in the iCamp one-off race there, which is the €4 million total prize money. I know that our birds can compete if you get numbers. It is a numbers game, but I know last year and the best bird from NL Netherlands was a grandson of one of our imports. So I know our birds can match. It's just a matter of getting the numbers and competing over there. And if we can get all the doors open for the one-off race, well, you'll have opportunity for anyone in Australia to send birds over.
Yeah, because at the moment their eyes are all set on European birds, aren't they?
Yeah, look, they don't. I don't even think they do go there, but they don't even. What I see at auctions, I don't even really push hard on the GB birds. They mainly look for the Euros from Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium. That's where they go. Although I have seen a strong trend of in recent times that the Chinese are also buying birds within the country. They know that over the years there's been top birds purchased. So on our visits we meet a lot of people, and I know that when we were visiting one just recently, he's a sort of wheel and dealing racer, successful in down south of China. And when we were there's some people come around and they bought a Dorsa Blonde off him. Because he does well with them. So you do see that they do wheel and deal and buy within the country as well.
Now, the other thing I've heard is that when the birds are racing, they've got something called like pigeon pirates over there.
I've seen that. Unbelievable.
My understanding it's a lot worse in Thailand and other countries than China, but I think I've seen different things too. So I've never
I don't know how you can believe some of the stuff on YouTube and that, but that's where I've seen it, and guys trapping birds while they're racing and stuff. And then they go up to the market and sell them for.
I've never physically seen it, but I'm a bit like you. I've seen different footage, but look, I'd be a bit worried that some of the people they pinch their pigeons off. They'd be very connected within the government, so I'd be a bit cautious who I reported it to.
But the normal guy too can win at a lot of races. It's not just for the rich people, because most of the press that's reported here it's like a rich man's sport in China, but it's not really.
There's a percentage. If you look at the numbers, and I just had a bit of a calculation the other day, and it's like roughly say. 1 in 4,000 people raise pigeons in China compared to like 1 in 12,000 in Australia. So there's a high percentage, and not all of them are the wealthy, very wealthy. It is still an average man's sport, and a lot of clubs that we visited, they're very, very friendly. It's you'll. And if you ever travel in China, if you contact one of the clubs, it is hard to get around without a interpreter. Lucky Maggie speaks in Chinese, it makes it easy. But if you contact them, you go down there, and next minute they'll be taking you out for dinner, and all their mates will be around, and everyone talks pigeons, and the language is the same everywhere when it comes to pigeons.
Now, your wife being Chinese, is there any chance of tapping into the Chinese community here in Australia to join us in pigeon racing here?
That'd be a good idea.
There is more and more people I've seen that have family or they've been involved with pigeons overseas, starting to join clubs. One thing though, remember, they love gambling, and we don't gamble.
No.
But I think over time you'll see a lot more of the Chinese entering the sport in Australia. The other thing is that a lot of them do tend to sort of hover in the inner city, where we'll have restrictions with racing. I know that one of our friends, he's based in China, he's a business, but he owns a place in Sydney, and he was saying, he couldn't live in the suburbs. He's just not, he lives in the middle of Sydney itself, and he said, he'd like to race there one day, but he couldn't live in the suburbs because it's just too quiet for him. And you find that If they can't, we have a real problem with permits and issues and some of the
which something I think that the Pigeon fraternity can sort of as a whole sort of go and advise some of these councils about, because some of the things they're putting on it is ridiculous.
Well, look, raising pigeon guys would have to be the most professional when it comes to maintaining, looking after their birds. You don't. I doubt if you go to many lofts today and they're just shacks. They're all sheds with unload line and 300 of drop-ins on the bottom. So and we're all conscious of birds not sitting on neighbours' roofs. So really, that we need to educate the councillors as well when you get problems. I think they have improved over the last 10 years, and we don't have not a lot of problems.
Well, we had Tony McPherson on a couple of weeks back, and he was saying that, like in Lilydale, for instance, there's a limit of 20 pigeons in their bylaws, and they have to go in and sort of argue with the council for a fly to start up in that area.
It was around 12, 13 years ago. I was a test case, actually, against City of Whittlesea. It took 2 years to get it through, and we ended up in VCAT with barristers, and we won. But at the time, there was a state law come out that you couldn't have more than 3 birds and up to the three animals, and you really was up to the local bylaws, and that set the precedent then for flies to follow. And I think that the councils overall, they're okay. They really are. They just don't want to rock the boat, and they've got a complaint, they've got to follow up. I don't think today that you're going to get many councils to really fight you, unless it's ridiculous. And like if you've got a backyard which only 2 metres off the back fence, your house, and how do you expect to have a loft there? You can't. So we've got to be realistic as well.
True. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
I'll ask you a couple of questions. Thank you, Ivan.
Well, you could have asked as many.
They were great questions. I was actually enjoying that. You did well, mate. Good stuff. You've got great birds. I've been to your place. I bought a couple of baskets and stuff off you. They were awesome baskets. Now, how do you race your pigeons? Do you race them to your perch, your widowhood? How do you race?
I race to the perch. I think to race widowhood, firstly you need a loft set up for it, designed, and it's just not a normal standard loft what most of us keep. I race to the perch. I find I'm old school. I think still the ABCs are still there in the sense that you got to have quality birds to start with. You got to train them. I do when it comes to breaking them in, and I'm slow. I take my time. And then when it comes to training, I teach them to run into the unit, my training unit. So I'll run them in, take them just a few Ks, let them go. Yep. I know they range further than that, but it's the whole idea of getting them used to the whole routine and starting to switch their head that what we're supposed to do. Okay. I'm not one to take them 40 Ks first training task, especially from where we are. To train on line of flight, that's which we do. We're going straight into Falcon City, so we've got to get their confidence and up and going. And I'll do your 4K, 6Ks twice, and I'll build them up. When it comes to training, I still believe the old school of doing that. When it comes to other forms of preparing your birds, no, I think we've got to always be smart with them.
Do you believe in cleaning your loft every day? Because that's a big argument at the moment, is whether you should or you shouldn't.
Look, my race loft through racing is cleaned every day. The off season now, it's every couple of days.
Same.
All our imports are in single pen, so they get cleaned every couple of days. The others go every couple of weeks. The community loft, if it's dry, if it's wet, every day. If there's a lot of moisture in the loft, I just don't like it not to be cleaned. And also I find that different states have different climates. That they'll get away with different procedure methods.
Like we had humidity here 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you could notice
it was terrible.
If you left it, I noticed it's no good. You have to clean it.
As long as it look, I mean, like we're saying, as long as it's dry, that's the main thing. If it's dry, if it's a little bit there and it's dry, it's not going to hurt them. You clean them the next day, not a problem. But
also you need a lot of air in the loft.
That's true. Exactly.
Our loft itself is 5 metres by 18, 19 metres, but down the middle it's a corridor 1.8 wide, which that it's good for me when I'm doing things.
Exactly.
But also that total air in the loft.
Yeah, you got to get a circulation.
You do.
Very important.
Yeah, and especially ours is a bit more closed off loft. So we need to be able to regulate with vents and different things, regulate the air. But also I find that if you're overcrowding your loft, you're creating problems.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, feeding. You were talking about feeding. What's your feeding system from the early races?
We make up our own mix. There's 5 mixes.
What's your secret?
Yeah, the 5 mixes. The first in the early races, the Friday night basking, I use a high purity mix.
Yep.
With a race mix, and then as we go to Thursday night, I use a different purity mix which has maize in it. It's a little bit different. Race mix, and I use an energy mix which is high in the oil seeds, and I'm not a very high pea feeder.
That seems to be going out of fashion, feeding them peas, isn't it? Only the older, I've noticed, the newer flies that are coming into it are sort of dropping the peas away, and just the older flies are still holding on to that sort of system.
I know guys that hopper feed peas, but you find if you're hopper feeding peas, they don't eat them all.
No, they don't.
They'll just select some. I do with my stock birds. I hopper feed them during when I'm breeding, and I give them an energy type mixes as well.
Because in actual fact, peas is a toxin. It creates a toxin when it goes into your...
Look, I got some correspondence with Gordon Chambers from Canada, and he writes a lot about that, and the different fats and oils. And look, I know that people will say, well, you need a high pea diet. I find that overseas that's more of a high maize diet, if anything.
Yep.
But then again, if you look at the mixes, they'll have the red maize, yellow maize, etc. as well. Not that I don't feed pea. Pea is very good when they come home for a race. I have a depurative mix and a race mix, which is higher in pea when they come home. And the next day I'll go heavy on the pea to build up, especially as the races get on. And then I'll break it down. Well, not break it down, but I don't use a lot of depurative mix as the distance get up either. It's more of a 20% pea in a race mix. With then I add the energy mix and more maize to it. So to say I don't use pea is wrong. I do, but I use it a different method than some. And there's a need for peas, but then I honestly think that too much oilseed's no good, but oilseed's good. SAF's become very popular overseas. And maize is I think a very good grain.
So in these early races, when the birds return from the race, what do you put in the water?
My birds come home to vitamins or medication.
So you do medicate, because that's the...
Yeah, look, you can over-medicate, there's no question, but there's not a successful...
Well, a lot of the successful flies that we've spoken to here have always said, get your birds tested.
You do. Look, I microscope myself, so I can do it every week, so I can avoid medicating different weeks. If you haven't got a microscope, and this is not sort of trying to put money in the vet's pockets, but if you're not sending, taking birds and dropping them down to them every about 2 or 3 weeks, I reckon you're silly. And over a race season, it's not that many times. I would, if you don't want to medicate a lot, you need to test them. I think that to have medication in it every week just for the sake of it, it's probably going the wrong way. But you've got to look at your loft. I know last year we had a lot more cocky than we normally do for some reason, but I had very little wet canker. So by testing myself, I could see that. And I think you can overdo it, but if you don't do it, and there's no successful fly in Australia who does not medicate. I don't care who he is or where they are. They all give at certain times when they need it.
So what type of medication do you use?
Oh, look,
I know you medicate, but what type of medication?
I use Marshall's Triple X. I use the Emtril at times. I don't like giving the same antibiotics. I'll use different ones. Phil Sachs in Melbourne, he's a very good bird vet as well.
Whereabouts is he situated? I've
He's
seen him on your website.
near Burwood Fuel and Fighter, just around the corner from them.
Okay.
Yeah, Phil's very good, very knowledgeable. He's trained a lot with Colin Walker, and him and Colin are good friends. And he brings in a lot of medication from South Africa. He's South African originally, and so I'll use some of his antibiotics at different times because it's a little bit different. And obviously, you got your Turbosol, but,
of course,
but a lot of issues with Turbosol. At the moment, there's a lot of people saying it's run its race. I'm not sure with that, but I'll vary it. I don't like giving the same thing all the time, and because there is different formulas.
Because antibiotics, like in any animal, they form an immunity after a while, don't they? So.
Look, the amount of times that we give them over a racing season, I don't think that'll ever happen. Look, if you're giving antibiotics and medication to your stock birds, you've got a problem. Mine will get it prior to breeding. I'll give them a course just to make me feel better, I think, more than anything. And but we very rarely I'll get canker in the youngsters. If they've got the right environment, good food, you should not be medicating your stock birds. If your youngsters you're bringing over breaking down, there's an issue. It's an issue with your breeders. There's an issue with your loft environment. You shouldn't we've got most of our team over now, and my race team haven't seen medication yet. They won't see it for quite a while. They shouldn't need it. No. They shouldn't.
No. How do you prepare your birds for the long distance feeding, training? How do you prepare your birds?
Well, we've had good success right through, and we got back-to-back feds this year, and we won. That was 540 Ks. One of them we won by 4 minutes in the Union, and the other one, the Whaley, our classic race, we won by over 8 minutes. So, but that's good birds. We have a routine that we give around a 90k toss once we're up and going. It's usually we make Pip Nakos and I toss together. We don't train with a group. We'll only give them one maybe for the first race, but we usually do it on our own, on the line of flight primarily.
That's good.
We do like to get their heads to the wind sometimes, so we might go south, but we prefer it up the line. And then we'll give them say 60k training toss as well. As the races get on, get a bit later, what we'll do, I might only give them the 190k and get them 2 or 3 30k. So up the Wallen from our place is about 30 kilometres. A little sprint home before dark. Sometimes you get a little bit late. You think, what have I done here? I've made a mistake. But I like to. I find those can sometimes switch my cocks back on if they go off the ball. If I lost them a bit early, I'll just take them on their own, and I'll give them 5 up. I'll go up. I've taken them up to 90 k's and give them 5 ups at a time, just to get their heads right, especially the cocks. Because I generally don't separate them due to my loft design. Okay. I think if the cocks are harassing your hens all the time as the season gets on, you really need to separate them. They'll give your hens a bit of a rest. I find that's not always a problem with me. But one thing I was told a long time ago, if you listen to your loft and it's noisy all the time when you're not there, then and it's just the cocks are going crazy with the hens. Well, it's time to separate them.
So you will separate them later?
I don't last few years because of our loft design. We're just altering at the moment, which will give me opportunity this year if I need to. But generally I don't. I keep them together.
Now, on your website, I've seen a few good videos and articles, so if anybody wants to go and have a look at it, you want to give out your website address?
Yeah, if you simply just Google Winners One or www.winnersone.com.au, and under news items you'll see a lot of different articles on and videos. And that's just growing all the time. We've got a few reports at the moment.
Now, if anybody, like, for instance, Becca, who's just come into the sport, wants advice, and you happy to give people advice, like if they contact you?
Look, always happy. Always happy. Last couple of years, I mentored a few interstate flyers. and one is club aggregates and his aggregates and the whole lot. So we're happy to help, give away our knowledge. It's one thing I learnt from old Gordon Rothigo, which was one of the greats in harness racing, when I used to train next to him. At the time he was about 60, and he said, Rod, I'm still learning. And that's one thing with pigeon racing, you're still learning.
You're always learning.
Yeah, you're always learning.
Always.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you've been racing for 40 years, 50 years or whatever. You're always learning. I know an old flyer that told me he's been racing for over 50 years, and he says, I'm still learning. So there it goes to show.
I think you are. There's in life generally, but definitely the pigeons will teach you something new every year. And no matter who you're talking to, there's often some little thing you can get off them. You think, oh, that's not a bad idea. I used to do that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's good to mix, and that's one thing for our sport.
That's what I was telling Becca. Together. Don't be shy to ask questions, So there's another thing I want to mention. I was at Rod's place. He's got this awesome collection of old clocks. It'll blow you away. You should see all these clocks. How did you acquire them clocks?
Yeah, well, it's again that over 6-7 years we looked around the world for different clocks and different pigeon items to try to keep them, because you see, that they're a pass, and I love antiques to start with, and anything to do old.
She loves antiques.
Anything old, with clocks, and it's just great to collect. And there's some very rare ones. Others are a bit more common. But
Ledouce comes to mind.
Yeah, there's
the French one.
There's some. Yeah, I've got one I call suitcase clock, and it's literally about. The old measurement's about 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet, and it's a clock, and it still works, and that's really rare. 120 years old.
How small's the smallest clock you got?
Yeah, I've got I've got American one.
Tiny.
I've got American one which is very small. It's the old system of actually when you hit the bird, you put the rubber in, and that starts the time. Yeah. So then they count back from when you clock it that way, and it can only clock 2 birds. I've got an old. Which, funny enough, it's when I first started to go to China about 12, 13 years ago, they had an electronic one, and you put the rubber in it, and that records it, and you actually the clock they plug into their computer at the time, and that reads off that. So that's a little bit rare and different too. There's a lot of them in China at the time, but now they're like us and all the
collect everything.
Anyway, we've run out of time today, so I thank you for coming today and visiting us here.
That was awesome. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, and I believe you're going to give us a weekly rundown of the VPU.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. Give you an idea of our results every week.
Yeah. So we've got Tony McPherson from the Greater Melbourne. We've got Joe here from the Western Pigeon Federation. We need to get someone from the VHA still.
Greater Melbourne.
We've got Greater Melbourne. Tony McPherson.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Greater Melbourne. Yeah, the Rosebud Club. Remember the... Oh, no, that's right.
No. They're in the Greater Melbourne.
Of course they are.
Well, the union...
I was thinking of Pena de Luca. Remember?
Well, the union guys are a great lot of flyers and some top flyers there, so I'm happy to sort of give a report on who wins every year.
Like when the race season starts, this program's not going to be like this. It's going to be more results and what people are doing and who's won the race and who's coming where in the aggregate positions.
Top
and
10
all that
positions,
sort of
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that should be good and exciting too for the guys. No, it's a very good union. The union is and top flyers.
So where were you the other day?
At
the auction.
I was working on my pigeon loft.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Rod, for coming in.
Rod.
And we look forward to hearing your weekly report.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Cheers,
mate.
Rod.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, mate.
And now we've got a request, haven't we, Joe?
We have, my friend. And you got any of those songs? You got any of Pink's songs, mate?
Who?
Pink. That Bella Pink. Yeah,
Pink?
That's the one.
I've got Pink. I've got everything.
You have, mate. How many songs have you got?
Oh, I've got...
How good was Rod Simmons?
Very good.
Very good. That's it.
Anyway, here's Pink. And you're listening to the Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM 3 Energy Radio.
Enjoy.
Don't you just love the good old taste of fresh milk? McMahon's Dairy is Sunbury's local supplier of high-quality dairy products and are distributors of Australian-owned Sungold milk, delivered fresh daily from Victoria's southwest coast. McMahon's Dairy products are available at your local milk bar and selected supermarkets. For more information, please call 9744 1911. McMahon's Dairy, a proud member of the local community and sponsor of 99.3 FM Sunbury Radio.
Pizzarella Estate is now open to the public, with a cellar door, cafe and restaurant open from Wednesdays to Sundays 9am to 5pm, and for Fridays and Saturday evenings 6pm to 9pm. They serve a range of delicious coffees and cakes, plus Italian-inspired rustic and modern meals. Pizzarella Estate has also 3 function rooms to cater for all occasions. So give them a call or drop in to enjoy a relaxing meal and their friendly hospitality. They are located at 25 Deverell Road, Sunbury. Call them now on 54283055. Pizzarella Estate.
Planting the right kind of trees and shrubs could save your home in a bushfire. Although eucalypts are highly volatile, there are lots of native trees available with higher moisture and salt content. The green foliage can provide a great deal of protection. Remember, well-prepared homes save people, and well-prepared people save homes. For your free information kit, call CFA on 1800 240 667 or visit our website at www.cfa.vic.gov.au.
G'day, it's Christian here from Transvaal Diamond Syndicate with the lads.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Guru and Amigo on Made in the Shade 3NRG. Get it up here.
3NRG sounds different every day.
Stop the pigeon! 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 Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him! Stop that pigeon now!
You're tuned here to Pigeon Radio on 3 Energy Radio 99.3 FM. Our number here in the studio is 9740 4910 9740 4910. And it's brought to you by the Melton Invitation Homing Club Incorporated, and our website address is www.mihci.net.au. And Joe Angelino, we have a special guest on the line, and you're going to introduce them?
Yes, I sure am. This guy has taken a big role on this last year, and he's the president of the WPF. His name is Ray Russell. Hello, Ray Russell.
Hi, guys. Thank you for inviting me on your program.
No worries,
You're
mate.
welcome.
You're welcome anytime. So tell us about the WPF.
Well, the WPF, it's made up of members in the western suburbs of Melbourne. Anyone who's interested in flying or racing pigeons in the western suburbs of Melbourne. So at the moment we have approximately 64 members, and we fly 4 different tracks in consecutive years. So and we started 60 miles and race up to 600 miles.
Now tell us the Ray Russell story. How did you get into this sport?
Oh, gee. Look, I started way back when I was in grade 2, and I was probably about 6 or 7 at that time. My uncle suggested to my father that we should have a hobby together, and we took up pigeons. And I raced as a junior in the Diamond Valley, which is a VHA.
And did you have a lot of success in the VHA?
Look, I raced there as a junior for quite a few years, and raced as a senior for probably 5 to 10 years. And no, I didn't have a lot of success, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and that's why I'm back in it in the last 30 years.
Now, we're talking about the WPF, so there might be a lot of people listening on this station that probably interested in joining pigeon racing. So what's the procedure in joining WPF to race pigeons?
Look, the Western Pigeon Federation has its name. It's got their own website, and it's Western Pigeon Federation at hotmail.com.au. So people can log on to that. They'll see what we're all about, and they'll see some phone numbers of mine and plus our secretary, Michael Portelli. If they're interested, it's only a matter of making a phone call or sending an email to Michael, and we'll contact them from there.
What's the procedure like when you want to join? Is there a big procedure in joining, or is it just very simple?
Look, it's a simple procedure. Normally, if you're interested in flying pigeons in the western suburbs of Melbourne, we would see where you are. Say, for argument's sake, you're in Sunshine. You could we'd give you a contact name and phone number. You can contact the secretary of the club in Sunshine, and then you could join the Sunshine Club, which is affiliated with the Western Pigeon Federation. And from there on, you could be a part of the federation. What you need to do is have a pigeon loft in your own backyard, something that's built out of timber or brick and has a wooden floor, I would suggest. And I would also just suggest that you perhaps get a council permit, which would save any hassle with your neighbours too. So, and that's what it's all about, to limit any damage or concerns with your neighbours in the area. So if you do the right thing by them and apply for a permit, and when the birds do the right thing by them and get them back in again, you'll have no problems with your neighbours.
Now, what about if someone's looking at pigeon racing on the internet in various places and they say, I'd be interested in that, and they've got no idea on how to build it off? Would you, like the WPF, have people that could help them out in that sort of area?
Look, the WPF would be only too happy to help anybody who is not sure how to go about building a pigeon loft, to give them some information and guide them along the way. There's people in our organisation who are quite willing to do all that. There's no problems whatsoever.
No, very good, very good. So with your racing, Ray, last year, how'd you go racing last year? I didn't race last year. How was your, how'd you go? Did you have a good year last year?
Look, I started off all right. Started off like a train on and going full steam, but I got to the middle of the season a bit, and the 400 fire, and perhaps I fell away a bit. So look, hope to improve on that this year. Keep a few less birds and try and press a bit harder. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last year you had a great. Not last year, the year before you had a great season, winning Fed and all that.
Yep.
You did well. You did very well. Yeah. Do you? So, how many do you plan on racing this year? Big, small team, medium team? How big's your team for this year?
I'll be a medium flyer, probably 130 once the race season started.
Yep.
No more than that. It's just too hard to handle the older you get. So 130 is a nice size for the loft I've got anyway.
That's it. And I spoke to you last time. You made some modifications to your loft, more airflow, which was very well. That's it's improved. It's improved a lot of things actually. A lot of things.
Look, airflow is very important. You can't have stale air in your loft. You've got to keep fresh air in there all the time. It's got to be able to escape all the time, and fresh air come straight in again. So that's what it's all about. And you can't. Look, I know some people like racing with a loft closed up, but I've learned from experience it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Your pigeons don't stay healthy enough.
Yeah, well, I've this year, or the year that I had off, I rearranged a few things in my loft. I've opened it all up and made more sections, just opened it all up, so better airflow. So fingers crossed, touch wood. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Correct. Yeah, you've got to have airflow. You can't have a draft, but it's got to be airflow all the time. New air coming into the loft and circulating, and a stale air being taken out at the same time. So that's what it's all about.
That's exactly right. Now, when you toss your birds, do you toss with the big mobs, or you toss on your own? How do you? What's your system?
Well, when I start tossing, I normally just only go 5 or 6 k's from home, and I'm by myself, and I'll do that 3 or 4 times, and then I'll go a little bit further. I'll eventually probably 15 k's, and I'll go there every day for a week.
Yep.
And release them until they know that they've got to come straight out and go straight home. And then from then on, I'll toss with other people and then mob tossing, yes.
Oh, too good, too good. Now, Ray, you're our president for the WPF.
Yep.
And let me tell you, you've done a great job. Is it a hard job?
Look, being president of any organisation is... The idea of the president is to oversee that everything gets done as supposed to be done for the organisation. And we're a team effort. It's a team effort.
Of course,
I'm part of a team. And,
that's right.
Look, my job's made easy by guys putting their hand up to do things, and that's what it's all about. If you have a team and they pull together, it makes your job a lot easier.
Well, I believe the board that we've had the last couple of years has improved the WPF a lot, I think. So, and you being the new president's helped big, has helped a lot too. So, no, you've done a good job, Ray. You've done a very good job.
Oh, yeah, and look, as I said, it's a team effort, and you need a team to work together, and a team always beats an individual, and that's what's been happening. It's been a team effort, and I think the Federation's better for it.
Now, what are your ideas, Ray, on getting new members to join pigeon racing?
Look, that's a hard one. I mean, everyone leads such busy lifestyles these days. And I think that's the same. All sports are suffering for new membership, and it's, as you know, pigeons are time-consuming. It's a lot of time. If you want to be successful, you've got to put the time and effort in. That's the same with all sports, but our lifestyles changed so much over the years. We're busy people, working 7 days a week. Some people do, and the children haven't got time to take kids to sport. People grow up, and they've got so many options these days to take on different sports. And I would love to have new members in our federation, but also the financial burden on a family, a young family especially, is great. And look, the federation is always looking at ways to cut the financial burden from families and make it a bit easier for and cheaper from the race. And we've had a squeaker sale this year to raise money to go towards transport costs, which, in my view, was very successful. Okay, we had 64 birds with shocks, and I think we raised $2,500 or $2,160, which gives the people who put in a $67 discount on their transport.
That's awesome. That's
which
awesome.
I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean it's good to see the federation try and cut the costs down for members. Because like you said, it gets a bit pricey, the transport and that. But no, very good. It's very good, and we'll continue doing this breeders' sale for next year as well. You think?
Yeah, for sure. It's been successful this year.
How have you gone this year? Like, I've bought some really, really, really good pigeons. You can see it in the loft when you put them in there.
No, that's
the quality of the birds there that I've seen this year has been absolutely fantastic.
No, very good. Very good.
Yeah, the quality has. And look, if anybody who's starting out and wants to pick up some pigeons, they're the places to go to do with squeaker sales, and they can start from there, and they can, they can either race them or they can breed from them, put them in the stock and breed from them and breed their own race team. And as you say, the quality of pigeons, not only in our squeaker sale we had a few weeks ago or a week ago, but also in our breeders' plate sales. The quality of pigeons in that has been fantastic, and the support we've had from not only our own members, but from members outside our federation has been fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's it. So we've got one more breeders' plate left, Ray.
We've got two, actually.
Oh, sorry, two. Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
that's
one
right.
this Sunday coming up.
That's 25th. Right, this Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I've got to see if I'm out of my grounded. I've been grounded, Ray, because I spent too much money.
Hey, one more sale for you. One more sale for you, Ivan.
Yeah, look, the idea is when you come to these sales, you don't go over it, don't get carried away with yourself and spend too much money on pigeons. I know, as I said, the quality of pigeons has been good, so you just got to know your limits and know what you can afford. So, yeah.
No, you do a great job at as an auctioneer too, Ray.
He is.
I like toying with you when it's when you go in once, twice. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think you've done that last Friday night. I think you've done that a few times to me. And I think you run me up too on one of them. So
it was peaceful at the last two breeders' plate sales because he wasn't there.
There you go. Thanks, Ivan.
Look, it's good to have a bit of competition in those sort of things.
Of course.
It makes it for interesting auction, yeah.
Of course, it sure does, mate.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Ray, do you want to add anything to what you've said today about the WPF?
Look, I would just say if anybody's interested in racing pigeons, go to our website, get the phone numbers off the website and contact us, and we'll put you in contact with someone that can help you start from scratch. No problems at all.
Thanks, Ray, for your time today, and I appreciate it, and we'll have you back again during the race season.
Thank you very much for your time, boys, and all the best for your program.
Thanks,
cheers, Ray. Take care, mate. Bye, mate.
Here, I've got a little bit of new music. You're telling me to play new music.
That's
Here we
it.
go.
I love
you think
it.
I'm an old man? I'm not an old man.
I didn't say you're an old man. Just bring it on, Ivan.
Here's Lady Gaga with
yeah.
Poker Face.
Poke it, baby.
Yeah, you're listening to Pigeon Radio. Don't rock me desk. It's cut me headphones out here. You're listening to Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM, 3 Energy Radio. It's brought to you by the Melton Invitation Homing Club. And here's Lady Gaga with Poker Face.
At Sanity Sunbury, we put our customers first. When you purchase a product from one of our stores and you're not satisfied with it, we're happy to exchange or return the product. So pop in and meet the team at your local Sanity store. Sanity, great service, great value, and proud supporters of 99.3 FM Sunbury Radio.
Hey Frank, I think I'll go for a bowl. What? 10-pin bowling? No, real bowls, mate. Down to the Sunbury Bowling Club. They got 3 bowling greens, a 125-seat restaurant, and a 200-seat function room, which is available for private parties. Down 49 Riddle Road.
Oh, that close. I think I'll come too. For bookings or inquiries, call the Sunbury Bowling Club on 9744 1211. That's 9744 1211. Sunbury Bowling Club proudly supports 3NRG.
Eruption, hard rock and dirty blues. Wednesdays 10 p.m. on 99.3 FM, Sunbury Radio. With me, your host Lindsay, for all your riffs and grooves. Check out new music from Australia and overseas. Blues, blues rock, hard rock, stoner, doom and all the good stuff. Plus interviews with up-and-coming Australian artists. Get yourself a Riffside ticket for 2 hours of mind-melting pleasure. Wednesdays 10 p.m. on 99.3 FM, Sunbury Radio. Eruption, hard rock and dirty blues.
Australia Day is the perfect time to reflect on why we love the land we live in. And you can celebrate it any way you like. So on the 26th of January, have a great barbecue/citizenship ceremony /day at the beach /country /sleep-in /work /cricket /tennis /backyard slip and slide whatever you want day. Australia Day means something different to everyone. So reflect on why you love being Australian and celebrate it your own way. Visit australiaday.org.au.
Tune out of your workplace and tune into 99.3 FM Sunbury Radio.
Stop the pigeon! 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 Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him! Stop that pigeon now!
And you're tuned to Pigeon Radio here on 3 Energy Radio 99.3 FM, and it's brought to you by the Melton Invitation Homing Club Incorporated. And you can listen to our program not only on your radios, but you can listen to it on the internet anywhere in the world at www.mihci.net.au. We've got our next special guest from South Australia, and I'd like to welcome to the program Gavin Harris, who's going to talk to us about the Long Distance Club. How are you? Good afternoon, Gavin, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ivan. Very nice to talk to you.
Yep, nice to talk to you. Now, South Australian Long Distance Racing Pigeon Club. It's an exciting new club that's been formed in South Australia. It's called the SA Long Distance Pigeon Racing Club. You want to tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, basically, we formed it back in November 2011, a bit over 3 years ago. The SAHPA, the South Australian Homing Pigeon Association, has always had a long-distance committee, a subcommittee, for about 30 years. It used to hold special events such as Alice Springs. And back about 3 years ago, we decided to actually formally make it a club with constitution and have its own membership. So basically it's to promote long-distance races in South Australia. And we extended the boundary so we could include some of the country clubs into the district, so we could race events such as Alice Springs every year. Last couple of years we also had a Bathurst. This year we're going to do a Canberra. And we also run the size produce race here in South Australia.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. And that's size produce is expected prizes of over $30,000.
That's right. Yeah, we've given away 4 cars so far. Some years the winner doesn't want a car, so we have to give them cash. But we've actually done 4 cars. We've got a dealership, Holden dealership that normally it's a Barina.
So you've got different sales, it's like a sort of set up like a breeder's plate, isn't it?
Yeah, basically we invite people to breed up to 6 birds. They can be from interstate and country or local.
So Melbourne Flyers can send some birds up to you if they're interested?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely welcome Victorian birds. A couple of years ago we couldn't allow them because of the BMV, but that's opened up now, and we're encouraging Victorians. We get some down from Queensland from time to time. And
what about New South Sydney? Get some from Sydney and that? Or
the VHA and DRPO and some of the Ballarat clubs like that.
Now, if some of the flyers around, because we've got all of Australia listening to us, if some of the flyers around want to send birds, can they still send some birds up to you guys, or?
Yeah, we have 2 sales a year, one in December and the next one's in February, the 1st of February.
Yep.
So, basically, if they're welcome to contact me. It's on the website, but I can pick them up from the airport on the Friday, the 30th of January, and I'll look after them and take them to the sale, and they can be auctioned off. And they go into anyone's loft that buys them. All that money goes into prize money. There's no money kept aside. It all goes in prize money, and obviously the convoy to get the birds there. But it's about, last year we paid out a bit over 30,000. I think the last 6 or 7 years it's always been over 30,000.
Now, if somebody sends birds out to you, you want them to be vaccinated, don't you?
Yeah, if they're coming from interstate, ideally the first vaccination of PMV should already have been done. And then any of the local birds, we actually vaccinate them on the day of the sale ourselves. But interstate birds, I think by law we have to have them vaccinated when they're shipped over. And, I pick them up from the airport. It doesn't cost anything to enter it. And the breeder gets 40% of the prize money. So, say you come...
A lot of money. That's good. Very good.
The first pigeon wins a car, but the breeder gets 6,000 in cash.
And where's the race from? It's 600 kilometres, isn't it?
Yeah, this year it's from Maree, which is north of Adelaide, about 580, almost 600 kilometres north of Adelaide, in the Flinders Ranges. It's a straight north race. It's normally it's a faster race, being on the north line. Our east line's our tougher line, but you can get a tough one on the north as well. And the birds normally, the people that buy them would normally put them in the Derby 3 weeks before the Maree size produce race, so they'd race them, lead them up to that race. So it's quite a good series, and there is special prizes for interstate and country bred birds too.
Okay. So do you want to give out your website address or a phone number if the people who want to contact you? Yeah.
Definitely. My mobile is 0418 853 111. And the website is the South Australian Homing Pigeon Association, which is www.sahpa.asn.au. And there's on that webpage there's often buttons, size prod. You press on that, it'll give you more details.
Now, this long distance club that you're running, that's only open to people in South Australia, isn't it?
Well, it is. The membership is in South Australia, but what we did the last year, and we're doing it again this year and trying to build on it, is we're having what we call the Marathon Challenge. And what we're trying to encourage is, we know there's a lot of people around Australia that would love to race Alice Springs. Adelaide, it's 1,320 kilometres. So it's a real marathon. The birds, we get good returns from Alice Springs, and they're well looked after. And the idea of the Marathon Challenge is we're inviting interstate people to send birds over, place them in South Australian lofts. And they only pay $50 a bird. And we don't, Alice Springs, we only race 2-year-olds and older. We don't race young birds in the first year. So what we're doing in the first year, we're having a Cooper Petey special. So that's 770 kilometres to Adelaide, Cooper Petey, which is a good test for a young pigeon. And that the way the $50, if you pay your $50 nomination per bird, how we split it up, $10 of that 50 goes towards the Cooper Petey prize money.
Oh, right. That's a very good system.
$20 of it goes towards Alice Springs prize money. And the other $20 is used to pay the nomination and get the bird to Alice Springs. We normally charge $20 a bird to get. So all the money goes back into either getting the bird to the race or prize money.
Now, because it's a long-distance race, the birds do get transported 100% with the best transport available, or
yeah, we've got experienced people that take them away. What the long-distance club, since we've formed 3 years ago, only middle of last year, we actually bought our own Rodeo four-wheel drive ute. And we're currently in the process of building a canopy and our own unit. In the past, we've used a trailer, but now we'll be able to transport on the back of the ute, and if we need to, take a trailer for extra birds.
Because there was a lot of discussion that a lot of the feds around the country have to can the long-distance races because people were complaining about the condition of the transport and the condition of the pigeons and all that sort of thing. So in this long-distance club, you can guarantee that the pigeons are getting the utmost care.
Most definitely. The people that take them away are experienced people. That Bob Hill took them away the last 2 years, and he knows all the spots to stop on the way to get the water, the camping grounds, and we send special feed away with them, and plenty of water, and they get stopped and watered. On the way to Alice Springs, it can get quite warm, so there's certain spots he knows to go to where there's shade. So definitely. And with Alice Springs, we watch the weather very closely, and quite often we'll move the week. So we tend to set a date, which is late August, before it gets too hot up in the north. But we'll move the race if need be a week back or whatever.
Okay, no worries. But because usually when the pigeons fly, they go up high anyway, and it's cooler up in the air anyway. So
but don't want to get them too hot on the way up there.
No,
so
that's right. That's the transport is the key. As long as they're comfortable getting transported up, they wouldn't have a problem flying home, I don't think, really.
Yeah, no, and they're all experienced birds, as they're all 2-year-olds or older, so we get good reports about their watering and feeding. So, we get quite good returns from Alice Springs. Obviously, it's a certain family of pigeons that do that. You can find a pigeon that can fly 1,000 kilometres that don't necessarily handle the 1,300 because they got to get up the next day and fly another 6 or 7 hours. They fly a full day, and then normally they get let go early on the Friday morning, and you expect to see the winners around the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the second day. That's the time when they come in. So good test of a pigeon. We have had a Alice Springs where they got home on late in the evening.
Oh, really?
10 o'clock at night at Balaclava, which is a bit short marker, but pretty amazing velocity.
They are an amazing animal, aren't they, really? And I've seen reports on the internet saying that a lot of the scientists now saying that they're highly intelligent animals as well.
Yeah, well, they do amazing things, that's for sure.
They do, actually, they do. Yep. Now, Gavin, you're the secretary of the Long Distance Racing Pigeon Club. Are you also involved in the committee with the South Australian Homing Pigeon Association?
Yeah, I was on the committee of the South Australian Homing Pigeon. I'm still the vice chairman. But yeah, I'm not.
Because why I'm asking you that is when the race season starts and that, would you be interested in doing sort of a weekly report on the South Australian Homing Pigeon Association here on Pigeon Radio?
Yeah, I'm sure we could arrange something. If I can't do it, I'm sure we could find someone.
Yeah, find someone else to do it if you don't want to do it.
I could definitely do my best.
Well, that'd be great because I'd like to have you back and talk about South Australian Home Pigeon Association because everybody is interested in hearing about it. So, and we can get all the pigeon fraternities in Australia together and we can swap and change ideas and probably have races together and all kinds of different things we can organise.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. So, we'll have you on again, definitely. And I thank you for your time today, mate. And I'll get in touch with you off air during the week and we'll discuss about how we can go about getting you in or somebody from your organisation on every week.
Excellent. Thank you, Ivan.
All right. Thanks for your time today, Gavin, and we'll catch up.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
Australia Day is the perfect time to reflect on why we love the land we live in. And you can celebrate it any way you like. So on the 26th of January, have a great barbecue / citizenship ceremony / day at the beach / country / sleep in / work / cricket / tennis / backyard slip and slide / whatever you want day. Australia Day means something different to everyone. So reflect on why you love being Australian and celebrate it your own way. Visit australiaday.org.au.
3NRG sounds different every day.
Stop the pigeon, 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 stop the pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him, stop that pigeon.
And you're welcome back to Pigeon Radio here on 99.3 FM 3 Energy Radio. And we have from the Greater Melbourne Pigeon Federation, the Roadrunner himself, Mr. Tony McPherson.
Ooh la la, Bio Aluka. That's some song. Hey.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, how are we?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
I'm still in Rio.
Oh, are you? living the Vida Loca, are you?
Yeah. I certainly am.
All right, mate. Now, listen, we haven't got much time today because we were pushed for time. So let's get straight into it because we've got to get straight out of it. Because I've got a program coming in. They've come back from their holidays, so we can't take up their time today.
Okay, look, first off, I'd just like to wish a good mate of mine up, the barber from Ballarat, all the best. He's done his knee. Playing cricket
good old
son.
Jeff Johnson.
Hit a 6, went for the Toyota jump, and look what he did. Dislocated his kneecap.
He'd be better off sticking to the racing pigeons.
Not good.
So the poor old the barber of Ballarat, Jeffrey, all the best, mate. He's had his operation. He's
is he doing all right? Give him my regards, will you? Because I actually know Jeffrey. I didn't live when I was living in Ballarat. We didn't live far from each other, and we used to visit each other.
Yes, look, he's a lovely bloke. Lovely bloke. So, and he races a very good pigeon.
He does, and he's got a lovely setup too.
Yeah, he has. He's got a really good setup. Yeah, he certainly has. But look, there's not a lot going on at the moment, really.
No, not
the same
really.
old things.
Yeah,
like we've got the.
You've got another Breeders' Plate sale coming up.
Yeah, another one on the 8th of February for the Rosebud boys down at the Dandenong Club Rooms. That'll be a good sale for their. I think it's their last sale that they'll be having, and then we have our last sale for the Greater Melbourne Pigeon Federation on the 31st of January at Morning Mist Club Rooms down at Browns Road in Cranbourne Tower.
All right then, Tony.
But really. There's not a
lot going on.
No, it's a lot of.
When the race season starts, then everybody's going to get their segment because I'm going to have each fed coming on, so everybody will get their 15 minutes, and that's how we'll do it. So,
this time of the year when it's off
season,
it's a fair bit of. I think I said it before. There's a fair bit of.
Correct.
Fair bit of dust floating around.
All right then, Tony. It was nice to hear your voice again. We've got to run.
Roadrunner! Run!
The Roadrunner's flat.
And we'll catch up with you next week, so prepare something.
Will do, don't we?
All right, mate.
See you, Tony.
See you later,
okay.
and thanks for that. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers, mate.
Bye now.
And that was Tony McPherson from the Greater Melbourne Pigeon Federation. Now, just before we go, Joe, I would like to thank Peter Maddock, right? I'd like to thank Peter Maddock for organising Davo for us last week.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Because he organised that for us, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had Davo last week, and that was fantastic.
Well, I missed Davo last week. Can we have him back?
Go and listen to it. Yes, we can. We're having him back in the race season, Joe.
That's good. Good.
And the other thing I want to do is, guys, stay tuned because we've got Pigeon Radio, but I can tell you that Pigeon TV is coming soon.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Via Channel 31.
That's going to be awesome.
So, stay tuned and you will hear all. All right, Joe, time to go because there's other people coming in to do another show and it's like 2 minutes to 4.
2 hours went so quick, it wasn't funny.
Hang on, I just got to find me Stop the Pigeon theme and you talk to people and say goodbye while I do that. Oh, here it is.
Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the show and,
We'll catch up with you next week. Same station, same time.
Same place.
On Pigeon Radio, here on 99.3 FM 3 Energy Radio.
Arrivederci.
And our website address is www.mihci.net.au, and don't forget, if you want to listen to this program after this program, you can do that, and you can listen to all our previous programs via our website on www.mihci.net.au. See you later, and we'll talk next week here on Pigeon Radio.
Catch you later, Ivan.
Muttley, you snickering, floppy-eared hound. When courage is needed, you're never around. Those medals you wear on your moth-eaten chest should be there for bungling at which you are best. So stop the pigeon, 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 stop the pigeon. Ow! Nab him, jab him, tab him, grab him. Stop that pigeon now! You, Zilly, stop sneaking. It's not worth a chance, for you'll be returned by the seat of your pants. And Clunk, you invent me a thingamabob that catches that pigeon, or I lose my job. So stop the pigeon, stop the pigeon, stop the pigeon, stop